My name is Lindsay and my pronouns are she and her, and I'm the founder of World Changing Kids. We are here today with the awesome kids in my Upstanders Academy and a super exciting special guest for our Art as Activism theme, Isaac Murdoch, who has amazing art that is used in so many environmental activism causes, so many causes. I mean, you'll have to tell me all the beautiful work that you are involved in. And on top of that, Isaac sings one of my favorite songs, Indian Song, which is one of the most beautiful videos I've ever seen. And I got to show the kids that just before bringing Isaac in. So that was awesome. And with that, I'll just pass it over to Isaac to get started.
Thank you very much. So ani bojo, mazanapkin ge go na be Indigenous. Gonna be go shabigash watan donjaba. Gnoje and do dem. Nishinabe nini and dao. Nimkii Aazhibikoong ninda. Gitchin endam yama pi wiganonin guk. My name is Isaac Murdoch. I'm from Serpent River First Nation. I'm Ojibwe. I'm from the Fish Clan. I'm from a place called where the serpents are painted on the rocks. And I live at Nimkii Aazhibikoong. And I'm Ojibwe. And so I'm very happy to be able to be here to speak with you. You know, it's always an honor and a blessing to be able to speak with young people. It's something that I think is important. And it's something that I want to do. And the reason being is because young people are the future. There is no question. That's undeniable. And before I get into this whole thing about art and all of that, I think I want to talk a little bit about why I do art and why I think it's so important and where I get my ideas from. And I think that as I get older, I think more than I did when I was younger. So when you get a little bit older, you start to think a lot more about things and you start to do some deep thinking, you know, and maybe it just happens that way. Maybe you just get kind of like a little bit more wiser, maybe, you know, I think. But my grandparents were very, very influential in my life, and they always loved to talk about things. And so one thing that they always said was that water is very sacred. They said a long time ago it was the most sacred thing to the Anishinaabe, to our tribe. Water was the most sacred of all things. And I understand why they said that now. Maybe I didn't when I was younger, but I certainly do now. You know, when I was younger, I was free on the land. You know, we had our own language, we had our own government, we had our own economy, we had our own justice system, we had our own, like, we were a free people. We were a nation of people that were free. And with that came the freedom to roam on our lands, you know, with no interference. We're able to fish and hunt and, you know, live a good life and live how we chose to live, which was with Mother Nature. And so that was a very big part of my upbringing when I was growing up. And, you know, they always said that, you know, we're extremely connected to the water and that our bodies are filled with water. And when you think about it, like if my body is 75% water, which is a lot, and the other 25% is just 100% pure maple syrup, then it tells me that the 75% water is pretty amazing. And that it's so incredible that even my eyes are like two lenses of water on how I see the world. I actually talk because of water. If I had no saliva, I wouldn't be able to talk. Every function in our body is made possible because of water. Our whole existence, our brain, our thinking, our feelings, our movements, you know, it's all because of water. It would be impossible without it. So water is our everything. And what's fascinating is that when I drink water, it of course becomes my very existence. It becomes who I am. And it's really strange because it has memory. Science is actually figuring out now, which we all kind of already knew. The people in my tribe knew water had memory. Water is a spirit. It remembers things. There's a lake just over here. They call it Gekakendaming. It means the lake that knows things. So we believe that water has memory. And so when I think about my own self, I think about there's an incredible ceremony. There's an incredible celebration that's happening in my body. Because you think of all the rain and all of the thunderstorms that brought flowers and new life and just magic to the earth. Just think of how many things were born because of water. Well, when I drink water and of course I'm going to pee it out into the watershed. Eventually everybody's going to pee their water out, but we get new water inside of us. The essence of who I am goes into the watershed. It goes into the environment, into the ecosystems, and it transforms, right? So the essence of who I am ends up being a family of squirrels, ends up being a white pine tree, ends up being a thundercloud, ends up being a baby penguin. Water never moves, it always travels. And so knowing this, think of all the celebrations of life that happened because of water. Think of all the human beings and animals and plants that rejoiced and gave thanks for water. Think of all the water dances and water ceremonies and songs and offerings that were made to the waters. Throughout this whole entire existence of Earth. That's inside of us too. A lot of people will focus on maybe the bad things that may be inside of them or that they're feeling, the sad things or whatever. But we can't forget that we have an incredible ceremony and a celebration inside of our bodies. And it's very sacred. And just like anything sacred, we need to protect those things. I mean, water is a little bit different because not only is it very sacred and it gives us the ability to connect with everything, it's also like one of the main ingredients to being alive. So when I was growing up, the old people always used to tell me, we need to protect the water. There's no other way. You're born in a time when you have to protect the water. You have to protect the land and the animals. Those are the natural laws that we have to follow. And there's no way out of it. You have to do that. Because we're trying to save and preserve something very sacred for the next generation and the one after that and so forth.
One thing I wanted to add, Isaac, that we learned a couple Upstanders Academy sessions ago when we were learning about water is this idea that all the water that exists today has existed forever because it just keeps cycling. And so the water that dinosaurs drank is the same water that we get to drink, which builds on what you were saying about water having memory too. Like, I just thought that was a cool concept to think about. And I don't know.
Yeah, it's really fascinating.
Yeah. I don't know that we think about it in that term, like in that, like it's the same water. It doesn't come from any new source.
It's really deep. Like we are deeply, profoundly connected in a way that we can't even humanly comprehend. Like we are like, all of us are like one living organism that's connected biologically. It's just really, really incredible. Absolutely.
Yeah.